Okay, in this video we're going to look at garter stitch and stocking stitch. So hopefully you've been practicing either doing knitting or purling, and if you do every row of the same we get this effect, and this is garter stitch. So I've just done knit rows here and I've got my lovely neat little rows there. When you start to alternate, so I've just done a knit row, I'm going to do a purl row. So I've brought my yarn to the front. That's the important thing to remember, is where your yarn is at the beginning of the row. But yeah, when we start to alternate, so I'm going to do a row of purl and then I'm going to do a row of rib, we get a different effect. I've also slightly twisted my stitches because I dropped some. I've not picked them up right, doesn't matter for what I'm showing you. So I'm just going to do a purl row, and then when I get to the end of my purl row, I'm going to turn around, I'm going to do a knit row, and we're going to keep going like that. Now this is the most common stitch you'll see if you want to do garments. Any machine bought knitwear that you own will predominantly be stocking stitch for the body. So when I turn, that was a purl row, so I'm now going to do a knit row. So remember, the yarn needs to go to the back before you start your knit row. And again, I'm just going to do the same thing to the end. I'm going to do a couple of rows just before you'll start to see the effects properly. So once you've mastered stocking stitch, which if you can already knit and purl, you're there, I promise. But once you've mastered this, you can then start looking at patterns for clothes. If you've got a small person in the house, a baby, they make up a lot quicker. I did a lot of my early projects for babies because it's less daunting to make a mistake than if you're making a full-size person. But equally, if you are going to launch straight into an adult one, don't be scared. It's exactly what we're doing. The only other thing that we've got to be able to do for most patterns will be some shaping, and I'm going to get to that video very soon. So this is a purl row, and then when I turn it back, you can already begin to see the difference. Okay, so this at the bottom is garter stitch. This is the effect we get from stocking stitch. So it's flatter, you've got these lovely little V-shaped stitches, and that would be the front of your work. With garter stitch, it doesn't matter so much which is the front or the back. Okay, with stocking stitch, the back looks like very similar to our garter stitch. Okay, so you very much have a reverse of the work and then a front of the work. Okay, so this is what stocking stitch looks like. It's nice and easy for counting rows because you just count your V's. So I've done 3 rows there. And like I say, all you've got to do for this is you just keep doing a knit row and then a purl row, knit row and then a purl row. And just remember, at the start of the row, your yarn should be at the back for a knit row and your yarn should be held at the front for a purl row. And like I say, you're good to go from there.